You ask your assistant something you would ask a colleague. What did we decide about the annual pricing change and who owns the follow-up? The answer does exist. It is in Tuesday's call, Thursday's email thread, and a message on Friday. You know that. Your assistant does not. So every morning you paste the background in again, and by tomorrow it has forgotten all of it. Why does this keep happening? So you do the obvious thing and paste it in, the transcript, the thread, the message, and it works. The answer comes back correct. Two problems though. You had to already know which three places to look, which is the thing you were asking it to work out. And when you close that window, all of it is gone. Keep the raw material though. That part was right. Attempt 2 is what most AI tools do, and it is a good idea. Index everything you own, then search it when a question arrives. But look at what it matched on. Words. Words. Who owns the follow-up is not a phrase sitting in any document. It is a relationship between a person and a decision, spread across 3 files. And every query works that out, then discards the working. Ask 100 questions, and the 100th starts as cold as the first. Indexing was right. Discarding what it learned is what breaks it. Put the survivors together. Keep indexing. But when it works something out, write it down and keep it. The decision is one thing, Priya is another, the call is another. So what if every time it worked something out, it wrote that down? Not a summary of the conversation, a note about the decision itself. The arrows are what answer your question. Linked notes about your own work, getting richer every week. That is a knowledge graph, and the app that builds one is called Rowboat. It has 2 halves, a brain and surfaces that act on it. The brain reads your email, your meetings, your chat, and your conversations with the assistant. What it produces is this: a plain text file about the annual pricing change. Type decision, owner, Priya, project Q3 planning. Those double brackets are the arrows from a moment ago. Priya is not text here. She's a link to her own note, and following it shows every decision she owns. This matters more than it sounds. The notes are ordinary Markdown, so your own tools can read them. You can grep them, open them in any editor, back them up, or delete them. And you might reasonably ask, why not a database? People said exactly that when it launched. A table finds rows that match. The links are what answer a question about who owns what. The second half is the surfaces, and they all sit on those notes. An email client that drafts replies, knowing what you already agreed. Here's what that buys you. An email arrives asking about the tiers, and the draft waiting for you already knows what was agreed on Tuesday. The meeting note taker taps the microphone and the speaker directly. It transcribes on your machine and writes the summary into the same notes. It ships one-click integrations, and it speaks MCP so you can plug in your own tools. There is a built-in browser too, kept separate from your real one. And it keeps going. A new email about the pricing change lands, and it goes into the notes that already exist rather than starting a fresh pile. When Thursday's email revised the numbers, the note changed with it. That is what living means here. One note per thing, kept current. Background agents run on a schedule or when a message arrives. They read the notes first, then search the web, use the browser, or write code. And what they learn goes back into the same notes. There is a code mode, and it is worth being precise about it. It does not replace the coding agent you use. It starts Claude Code or Codex and hands them your context. The thinking part is swappable too. A local model through Olama or LM Studio, or a hosted one with your own key. So the whole idea on one board, notes on your disk, and surfaces that act on them. That is the entire product. So, is this Obsidian with an AI bolted on? The Vault idea is borrowed on purpose. The difference is that you never sit down and write these notes. Second question, and it is the one that matters. Does anything leave my machine? Your notes do not. They are files on your disk. But the model is whatever you point it at, and a hosted key means your work reaches that company. Local models are the genuinely private path. Third question, is it safe to point at your inbox? This was the sharpest thing anyone said when it launched, and it is worth sitting with. An assistant with access to your shell, reading text that arrives from strangers, is a real thing to weigh. Connect the noisy sources last, not first. It is Apache 2.0, and the project is moving quickly. 5 releases went out in the 6 days before I recorded this, so expect things to shift. Worth trying if your work is scattered across email, meetings, and chat, and you keep repeating yourself. Less so if you live in one tool on one project. So if you want to try it, do it the small way. Connect one source, let it read for a few days. Then ask it something you would otherwise have gone digging for. If you try it, tell me which source you connected first and whether it actually remembered.